Legenerous show. We have a great lineup of guests today, including Pip, Estella, Miss Havisham, Coffeesome, and Magwitch. We will also be getting an inside look on Pip's personal life, Estella's love triangle, Miss H's bottled up hatred, and finally, confrontation of the two people who despise each other the most. We're even bringing back some of the dead, plus an exclusive game at the end. I hope you're all excited. You're in for a great show today. We'll be right back. Let's all rise for our first guest, Philip Pirate, who thinks his real name is Pip. It's a pleasure having you here today, Pip. That's a great name. Would you mind telling us how you got that name?
Well, sure. As embarrassing as it sounds, I couldn't really talk.
Oh my God, why?
No, not like that. I just couldn't pronounce my name when I was little because Philip is a pretty challenging name to say in this case. Similar to Peter Piper picked pickled peppers or something like that, but a little less challenging. You get the point anyway. I mean, even saying it now is still kind of challenging.
Well, that's very interesting. I think we'll all remember that life-changing story. But anyway, on to our next question. How have you been lately, Pip?
I've been okay, thank you. I've just gotten over a very harsh illness, and also I've just learned that my attempted murderer Orlick is in jail, which is a kind of a huge relief. But sadly, my dear friend Abel Magwitch has been imprisoned also.
Well, is there anything optimistic going on in your life?
Well, yes, Joe and Biddy have gotten married, and even though I may be a little bit jealous, sorry Joe, I am still very happy for them.
Okay, now a question everyone wants to know. Did you, Philip Pirate, reach your great expectations? And also, what are your great expectations as of now?
Well, that's a tough question. When I was little, my expectations were to one day become a gentleman, of course. I wanted wealth, intelligence, and popularity. You name it, I wanted it. I would say yes, I have reached my great expectations to a point, but to me, as I've grown and became more mature, therefore my expectations are a little different now.
How so? I mean, wouldn't everyone be jumping up and down with your kind of wealth?
Well, yes, I got an inheritance from a mysterious benefactor to whom I know now was Magwitch, my dear friend, and I moved to London to study and become a gentleman. According to my great expectations back then, I fulfilled them, but the catch is I forgot about the ones I had loved, and that was also very harsh. I regretted leaving Joe and Biddy the most, and that's something I would have changed.
What about receiving money from a lower social class than you?
Okay, at first I was really embarrassed, and I was looking at everything from the wrong perspective. Once I realized he sacrificed his life for me, I got to know more. I viewed this situation differently, realizing social class is unimportant. Who you are on the inside is the qualities that really matter. And currently I'm in debt now, something I would have freaked out about back then, but now I honestly don't really care. I've stopped using Magwitch's money also, that has helped me get in a lot of debt, and I've secretly helped Herbert to fulfill his dreams, and that is proof for becoming a gentleman, or for not becoming a gentleman, sorry, for the way I've changed.
Would you say you've changed from being a little kid to now?
Well, I grew a little. No, but yes, in many ways. In the beginning, when I was little, I was struggling with the truth and what was morally correct. But yes, I have matured and grown to now I know what is morally correct and how to handle the truth, and I've changed for the better.
Wow, I think we all need a little bit of Pip in us, don't we?
Yes, that would be great.
Now, Pip, what do you see in the future for you?
Estella.
Well then, I think we will end on that note. Thank you so much for coming out today, guys. And Pip, we have a little gift for you that we have a check to help you get out of your debt.
Aww.
And back on your feet. You've changed for the better, and we all have noticed that, and we think you deserve it.
Oh, I'm so forever grateful. Thank you so much for this amazing gift. It was a great pleasure to be here today. Thank you.
I would like to welcome Miss Havisham to the stage today. Hello, Miss Havisham. Thank you for taking a moment from your death to come and talk to me today.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here. Great to take a break from being dead.
Let's get started then. The rumor going around is that your ex-fiance is none other than Kampe's son. Is that true?
Sadly, yes. That rumor happens to be true. I was a young girl blinded by my first love.
Is that why it took you so long to get over him? I mean, come on, you're still wearing your wedding dress.
I made some bad mistakes throughout my life, that being one of them.
Do you have anyone else to blame for these actions other than yourself?
Well, yes, actually, Kampe's son. If I had never ended up getting involved with him and his awful schemes, I would probably be happily married and not dead. But their actions can't be changed, and soon I'll be headed back to resting not so in peace.
Speaking of those mistakes, do you feel you regret about how you raised Estella?
Come on, I'm Miss Havisham. What do I not regret? Well, yeah, I know that I shouldn't have pushed her to being so cold-hearted.
Is it true that you would whisper to Estella about how she needs to break Pip's heart?
Yes, I was so overcome with my own rage at my failed marriage that I wanted to live through Estella and create that. Through her and Pip's relationship, I regretted my actions so much it led to my death. Maybe by the end we can pretend I had some great heroic accomplishments.
Good one. All Pip wanted was to prove himself to you and Estella, and all you did was play with his emotions. Can you please explain to us today how you did so?
I'd rather not get into that.
Please, Miss Havisham, we're all dying to know. Sorry, bad pun.
Oh, fine. I invited young Pip over while I was raising Estella and played with his emotions.
Is this around the time Pip fell in love with Estella?
Yes, I could tell that he thought she was absolutely beautiful. My plan was always to bring a boy in to break his heart in revenge for mine.
So then what happened?
I made Pip assume that I was the reason he became a gentleman, for him to marry Estella when instead Estella married Dremel, who had known Pip from school.
Oh boy, how's that a love triangle?
I know, one of my biggest mistakes I could have ever made.
Is there any way you could have made up for your mistakes?
He only asked one thing of me, and that was to be Herbert's benefactor.
Well, we are almost running out of time, so my last question for you today is, if you could change one thing about anything in your life, what would it have been?
Geez, there's so much I would change, starting with never getting involved with Kampe's son and not ruining Estella and Pip's lives, but jumping into that was a biggie.
I bet. We all wish that didn't happen for your sake. But thank you for coming today. It was great having you, and have a safe trip back.
Thank you.
Our next guest is the girl behind all the love triangle gossip these days. Please give a warm welcome for none other than Estella. It's nice to see you again, Estella.
It's nice to see you too.
Tell me, how have you been recently?
Well, I've had some good days, and some days are better than others, but I found a peaceful life.
Really? What about your whirlwind love life?
Everyone wants to know about me and who I'm linked to.
Now, there are rumors that you are in a love triangle with Pip and Dremel. Are these rumors true?
Oh, Helen, you can't believe all the gossip you hear on the streets. Everyone always jumps to conclusions when they see me with any male friends. I think it's completely ridiculous.
Can you give any details in your relationship with Pip or Dremel?
Well, I've known Pip for most of my life, and he's always had a crush on me. It's quite obvious. I can't give you any details on my relationship with Dremel because I can't really consider it a marriage.
But many have speculated that you are leading both of them on. How do you respond to that?
I do not think that I'm leading either of them on, but people will always speculate. I am married to Dremel.
But you said you were unhappy.
No, there just isn't any love in it.
And how does that affect you?
It doesn't affect me at all. I'm still living my life.
Well, I would like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to me today. It means a lot.
Thank you for inviting me.
I would now like to introduce our next two guests. Please put your hands together, everyone, for Kampe's son and Magwitch. It's great to have you two here with us today.
It's a pleasure. I even got to get out of my jumpsuit and take off my handcuffs for this interview.
I always look good. Even as a ghost, I look better than him.
Okay, guys. Now, would you two please explain your relationship to us? It seems a bit complicated.
I'll explain it.
Ugh, you always do.
Ever since I was a kid, I had to support myself. When I was a bit older, I unfortunately fell under the power of Kampe's son. Before I met him, he teamed up with a man named Arthur and destroyed Miss Havisham. He was also supposed to marry Miss Havisham, but instead he left her on our wedding day. Compeyson and I were eventually turned in for committing fraud, and Compeyson got the lighter sentence, which was so unfair. As a convict, I later encountered a young boy named Pip, and today we have a strong relationship. He even helped me come up with a plan to escape from Compeyson.
Yeah, and part of your diabolical plan was to kill me.
Would you be quiet? It wasn't intentional. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, okay.
Guys, let's try to make it through this interview without you two killing one another. Especially since Compeyson is already dead. Let's make sure Magwitch survives. Magwitch, tell me about your relationship with Pip.
Well, when I first encountered him, I threatened him, which I do really regret. And to prove to him how sorry I felt about threatening him, I worked really hard to become his anonymous benefactor and help him accomplish his dreams of becoming a gentleman. We became very close, and she tried to help save me from Compeyson.
Okay, and what do you think would have happened if you had escaped from Compeyson?
Well, if we had escaped from Compeyson, then we probably just would have returned back to our normal lives without him in it.
Oh, okay, you can't do anything about it. Please settle down. Now, Compeyson, how about you? Would you please explain what happened with Miss Havisham?
Well, I teamed up with Miss Havisham's stepbrother Arthur, and we sort of took advantage of her. We used all of her money, and then on the day of her wedding, when we were supposed to get married, I kind of like left her. And at first she never knew about this whole plan and about the scam and Arthur, her stepbrother, being involved, but eventually she figured it out.
Wow, that seems quite harsh, don't you think?
Very harsh.
Okay.
You completely took advantage of an innocent woman.
It's my time to speak. I mean, yeah, I felt bad, I guess, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do for money.
I guess you could put it that way. And earlier, Magwitch explained that you got the lighter sentence, correct?
Yeah, this is correct.
Can you explain to me how that happened?
Well, obviously the judges liked me better and felt bad for me because I was dressed like the true gentleman. They also liked that too. And while on the other hand, Magwitch was dressed like a street person who didn't even have a house, and that's pretty unfortunate for him.
Would you stop it? You're so annoying all the time. I'm sick of it.
What the heck?
Stop.
Well, that was quite interesting to say the least. We'll get right back to you after this break for our trivia game. After all that chaos and gossip, we've learned a lot about all these guests. Now it's time for a game. There's a realistic novel by Charles Dickens called Great Expectations, where we will have $1 million question based on the novel asked to 3 random audience members, and the winner will receive a prize, and the 2 that lose get nothing. Now it's time to call up 3 audience members.
Me.
You.
Yes.
Okay, what is your name, contestant 1?
Bon Kui Kui.
Very nice. And you, contestant 2?
Listeronda.
And what about you?
Bobo.
Now, what great contestants do we have? Now it's time for our $1 million question. Here we go. Who is Estella's father?
I know. It's Pip, for sure.
Well, if Pip had a kid before he was born, then maybe. But this is incorrect. Next.
Me. I am Pip's Estella's father.
Whoa, that was not expected. But if you truly think so, I think it's time for a DNA swab.
Yes, anything, please. I'm dying to know.
Here we go. Okay, I'll have the results as soon as possible. And we're back. Our system determined that, sorry sir, you are not the father. And after the show, actually, the cops are backstage waiting to arrest you for false accusations.
Hey, at least I got my moment on stage.
I have the answer. If anyone read the book, it's obviously Abel Magwitch.
Correct! We even checked Magwitch's DNA backstage, and it was a match with Estella's. Congrats, you are now the winner of an amazing new convertible!
Oh my gosh, really?
No, sorry, I actually ran out of money for the show today helping Pip. Instead, you get a new copy of Great Expectations!
Wow, 50 bucks on that ticket and no reward. I'm out.
Me too.
And me.
Well, thank you everyone for coming in and watching today's great show. We really appreciate you and our guests coming in today and sharing and letting us go in depth with your personal lives. I wish you all great things and give it up for these amazing people.